Alrighty, we're doing day number 2 of the rechecking of this system here. So going walking down here, we had this section vibrating on its own yesterday. Today it seems quite still, which is good. And we covered some of the some type of RF transmutation that's going on here. Different color patterns happening here over time. Strange looking stuff here, as well as here. Looks like images of people walking through a forest or something here. But it's just the way it looks to me. Quite visual. We have here the special X-band radar modulation system. Programmable to any frequency, any within 1.5 megacycles. Countermeasure system up here. Again, variac for adjusting high voltage. This section here at the front. Again, these two are for electrostatic and accumulation as well as RF. Phase shifting. And we have here again electrostatic accumulators. These two big tubes down here, square tubes, are waveguides. This is basically support, but also acts as antennas for long and VLF and ELF waves. So this fellow here is again 100 megacycles transmission. This here is an interference system I have designed to work with certain aspects of atomics. This here is again from Dr. Peter Kokoschnik in Germany. A Geiger tube, a huge gigantic Geiger tube that his wife gifted me in 1993 when he passed away, unfortunately. And down here we have ELF transmission. Going over here a little bit. There's some of the units that are driving everything here. I won't go into detail, but it'll take quite a while to do that. This is vintage stuff, vacuum tubes and solid state, by the way. Okay. RF generators mostly here, and some monitors I have. Moving on to the next slide here. This would be a monitor, a Collins R390 receiver, transceiver, military type, signal generation equipment, good old trusty general radio gear. And there we go. Lower output readings. Okay, this is more or less a control panel. Right. Homemade dish antenna, by the way. Yes. Common RF generator, signal generator. And here we have some measuring gear here, which we'll just zoom in on it. HP class 3335A. Synthesizer, level meter. I get down here some vintage general radio gear. Signal generators. Monitors here. More vintage signal generators. Let's slowly move down here. Stepping over some wires. I'm keeping it very simple for people here. I'm not going to go into all the details. Whoop, get stuck up here. Okay, it's classic general radio gear. A good strong RF generator, as you can see. You get up to 1 volt out RF. Sweet generation gear. More variable, very variable frequency generators, as well as a monitor combination. Classical HP stuff here. Signal generators, more monitoring gear. And down here we have several military style signal generators up into the 400 megacycle range. Moving along here a little bit. Under here, more general radio gear along with function generators, RF generators, and a good old RF amplifier. Down at the very bottom, there he is. And also we have a nice RF generator up here, amplifier. As you can see, it will go up to 30 watts, 10 megacycles to 500 megacycle range. You can work that in those bands, but you need a primary RF generator input into it. Then you add a modulation into that. So you got a micro radio station basically. And back over here we have our high voltage supply going. This is all antenna design and high voltage applied, along with the huge round ball here, which is high voltage applied, along with RF generation gear, which is again some of these unique countermeasure systems off of warships, HMCS Saskatchewan and Yukon. It's being driven by its RF amplifiers and programmers. And at the very tip here, you can see that it spreads out a waveform. Well, I shouldn't say waveform, it's RF energy. See, it wouldn't pick up any disturbances here. You actually can see some slight effects happening here. Try and hold this very steady. Oh yeah, on the very tip of this is something going on there too, which actually should be all cleaned up. A task I should be doing. And we move along here a little bit, covering a lot of things and leaving out a lot of techno stuff here. But anyway, the high voltage system down here. Another countermeasure system, directing its energy in directional ways and stuff like that. These are quite unique, these antenna systems. Take about 30 units to drive one of these, but I'm using just a couple of units. We can get any readings here for people that are curious on what they are. Well, let's take a look. I have the engineering specs in the cargo container. Now, these are up on the superstructure of the warship, whereas all the control mechanism and units are down in the war measures room. Now let's try something here. I can probably do it real quick. Geiger counter system, which I have to turn on. Alright, turn this fellow on, Major. Here we go. Now this unit I had to make, I actually made it in 1994 to power this gigantic Geiger tube from Dr. Peter Kukushnik. Now I'll show you what happens when I apply high voltage, okay? Now I sit down here and apply high voltage, which is this very act to the transformer to we're in. And this turns a tiny bit. If I go all the way, something strange happens. For some reason it shuts down the audio amplifier. So I'll just put it at 2000 volts. So adjusting here. Back. 2000 volts. Okay then, I think that's A-OK. Just covering very lightly everything without going into too much technical detail. And we'll just turn this guy off. Wow, that's cool, isn't it? Let's try the Geiger tube. Nope. So this thing I made, as I mentioned before, I have to turn it off in different knobs and things, so it's way behind here. Hard to do with one hand, you know? Alright, let's get those switches off. I think I have a lot of time doing this with one hand. Off. Make sure it is off. Alright, so there we have it. I'll be adding a lot more gear to drive this thing. Some of the effects are quite unusual. Noticeably outside up to 100 feet away. Okay, I'll shut up now and continue on.